podcast. We are discussing X-Men Apocalypse. This is Jordan along with Eric and Ed. How are you guys doing this evening?
Pretty good. Happy Memorial Day to both of you, and thank you to everybody who sacrificed so we can have this fucking podcast.
See,
What?
that was the right way to do it. Was to
What
give
was the right way to do it?
was to remember all those who died in allowance for us to do this podcast.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you, D-Day veterans, for that.
For all of them too.
And then all the veterans. It doesn't just have to be D-Day.
No, it's really cool because I think HBO had for this all weekend had been playing like The Pacific, been playing Band of Brothers, been playing
Nice.
pretty much those World War II movies and stuff like that, or the
Nice.
miniseries, and those are epics. Those are really cool too. So. It's nice to see they do that. I wish the History Channel would do more of that too, but
Well, they've become the reality channel now.
Yeah, the Pawn Stars Network.
Yeah.
Yes, true. But other than that, everybody doing good. Eric, you're back from Europe. We missed you.
It was fantastic, everybody. I wish everyone could have came, but I don't. It was amazing. I recommend everybody to go. At least
okay,
once.
And also, we have a brand new website. We're at movieguyspodcast.com, of course, but it's all been updated and new. And there's a lot of new features that are going to be added throughout the summer, so stay tuned for that. We're not going to spoil them now because nothing's set in stone, but stay tuned for it. We hope you guys keep on checking it out. But tonight, we're talking about X-Men Apocalypse, a movie that I had no interest of seeing until this morning. So this is going to be interesting because I watched First Class on Saturday. I watched Days of Future Past for the first time ever last night.
Oh.
And I went to the theater today to check this out.
It's been a X-Men filled weekend for you then.
It has been because I knew this was the third in the First Class new story arc, so I wanted to know what it was all about. Whether I liked it or not, I guess we have to figure out as we go along. But I was not hyped about this. Were you guys hyped about this when it came out? Were you guys excited?
You want to go first, Ed?
Yeah. I was so excited about this movie. No, first of all, I like Jordan. I didn't get to see Days of Futures Past until well after it had come out. I had some things going on, and long story short, so when I finally did see that movie, and then I love the fact that they tied everybody in together. Everybody came back for Days of Futures Past, the new school and the original trilogy folks. The fact that they very much J.J. Abrams the timeline to where they change it, but it works so well. I love that. But when I saw the previews for this movie, I was so excited. I thought that this was going to be an epic. I thought it was going to be brilliant, and it did not disappoint one bit.
So I love the X-Men. I always have. I was first exposed to, I guess, any type of comic book was with the X-Men cartoon when I was a kid.
Yes. Yes.
And it was just epic, and I fucking loved it. It was great. And so that's, more and more. But as it gets along, just because X-Men is a very, very, very old character in comic book series, obviously there's a lot of stuff happens. So there's Future War, there's the extinction that happens, and then there's a lot of wars that happen a lot too. But one of them that stuck out always was Apocalypse. Apocalypse was one of those supervillains that was just and by supervillain I don't mean the nemesis, but I mean a fucking super awesome god villain, because he is just destruction. He is like the Thanos. He is the dark side. He is just this badass type thing. He's technically a god. This is where kind of in the Marvel universe they kind of started to go into just all right, well, we're kind of out of the villains part, so let's just start going into the gods. And
Eric.
And keep in mind,
real quick. I'm sorry. Eric and Ed, can you just tell me real quick? Is his name actually Apocalypse?
No.
Yes.
Well,
in a sense, it is, but it isn't.
You know how? Okay, here's a good example. You know how Magneto's name is Eric?
Yeah.
So there's a name, and then there's the mutant name. There's your name, and then there's the stage name. There's Jordan, and then there's the weapon. So
nice.
that's basically what it is. It's a way. It's a thing to call him. and they don't
Mhm.
really do it a whole lot in the movie. They do kind of say apocalypse. They say it a few different times just to kind of give it a little bit of service. But
Yeah, and when he says his name, when they say his name, he lists off every single god that had come up to the time when we open up the film in ancient Egypt. He calls himself Ra. He calls himself all the gods that had been named up until that time, because he obviously doesn't know anything until he just touches this TV. He touches Storm's TV and just sucks up all the information. So he could have, in theory, called himself something else, but he
Okay.
calls himself what he knows, and they call him something. They call him Apocalypse.
Okay, I didn't know what was going on with it. So,
Mm,
continue, Eric. I apologize. I'm
no,
sorry
his
about that.
his name is I looked up because I can't pronounce it. I know it's a three-parter. N Saban Nur. That's yeah. So that's what he goes by in the movie. But
mm,
Okay,
but we know him in the comic books as Apocalypse.
okay,
Basically, that's what that is. So again, every mutant has that. There's how Wolverine is actually Logan. Either way, you
yeah, yeah.
point made.
It's the
yeah,
name the headlines gave him, basically.
The mutant name.
Yeah.
But
okay.
I enjoyed it very much. I'm glad that you guys actually were able to watch all the other ones because if there's any one movie that you would have to preference before watching this one, it would be X-Men First Class
Hmm.
with Kevin Bacon. Thank you, Kevin Bacon. And because they throw the Rose Byrne character back into the mix too, which is
Hmm.
I don't know. She's the way the comic book movies do that. It's kind of like meh, Because the same thing with like Batman v Superman, where like Lois Lane is just there. Like that's her superpower is that she's just there, fucking
Hmm.
always. And
Yeah.
so it's just
Yeah, and
uh,
here's how I felt about this one. Now, all of us having rewatched the entire series, and this is essentially a retrospective on all three of them, leading up to the release of this movie, obviously this weekend. But
took place in the
it
80s. Yeah.
okay. So, well, here's the thing. Like, doesn't this more felt like the sequel to First Class than Days of Futures Past did because they changed the timeline? And they bring back characters from the first one that weren't in the second, if I remember right.
Yeah, they definitely are
Yeah,
pulling a Star Trek here.
Yeah.
yeah, they were. Well, they were, but that's because of what happened with Days of Futures Past when they fucked up with this huge war and going back in time. And I just, okay, I I can't hold it in anymore. I'm sorry. I don't like this movie. This
Oh
movie
my
can.
god.
No.
This movie
Before you
can.
go into your tangent, did you like the
Yeah,
other movies? Did you like First Class and did you like Days of Future Past?
I saw First Class in theaters, and I said when I walked out of the theaters, First Class is the best superhero movie since Dark Knight. Like I was that impressed
Okay.
because the X-Men movies after number two was just terrible. I mean, we had what Origins before First Class, and it was like, come on.
Yeah, Origins is
Well,
a
So
Wolverine movie.
yeah, they were gonna do origin stories for all of them, and then they sort of canned that
yeah,
when the Wolverine one was so bad, the first one.
yeah.
They said no, we're not doing this. Never
So
mind.
love so I really liked it, and then like I said last night I watched Days of Futures Past for the first time with my wife, and I loved it. What I like about this trilogy, which is one of my complaints about this movie, is they don't introduce they do introduce real world situations, and the X-Men are just in them, like the assassination of JFK, the Cuban Missile Crisis, all
Mm-hmm.
that stuff that went on. The what was in the what was Days of Futures Past? The God rights movement. Oh fuck
Oh,
me! What's the
well,
goddamn
you mean
word?
like the civil rights movement?
Civil rights.
I,
Thank
well,
you. Sorry, yeah, civil rights movement was in that. So it's like they put the X-Men into these real world situations, and I guess that's one of my complaints for this one is that didn't really happen in
well,
this.
but keep in mind that you're Jordan. Jordan, you do have a point. X-Men, in my thought process, has always been a parallel to the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
Because there's whether it be now today would be equal rights for all sexes, but back then when everything was coming out, the X-Men and everything, the black people were looked at as being different,
Yeah,
others, subhuman. So as sad as that was, this is a parallel to that. And they don't really touch on it in this movie because the concept is gone now. The fact that the parallels existed when this was originated, they're gone now. They don't exist in society anymore. They do, but they really don't. So like they have to move on. They have to move on from that. So the reason that X-Men have always been in real world scenarios, there's always been something happening in the real world that the X-Men were there to stop or be created because of it. But also keep in mind when we were talking about, now, you know, we didn't, obviously we had some technical difficulties, but with our Civil War, with the Avengers stuff, when we had that conversation, that, you know, the idea of comic books being a fiction are gone now in film. They're very much real world tragedies and real world repercussions for what happens.
It's I like the way that you say that though, but I think that the X-Men have always been exactly right about the civil rights movement, where basically they play the kind of hated minority, where people don't like them because they're so different, much like how it was with the whites and blacks in days of past, right? And it's great because you can take a lot of unique, powerful figures from that too. Professor Xavier could be your Martin Luther King because he's he's very influential, and he believes that there's peace, that there can be coexistence. But then you have Magneto, who plays more of the Malcolm X type role, who's very much just like, no, we're always going to be separated. We're always going to be different from one another, and there's no reason that we can live or coexist with each other. There's going to be resistance, and so we should fight back. We should and you would think that because of the creation of the X-Men and around that time too, that they were influenced by those two big figures too. I mean, there's a lot of similarities between a lot of them too.
And another parallel, or another reason why I've always personally loved X-Men, is because like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, they were friends. They were friends. They had the same idea. They just had two separate ways to go about it. Magneto and Professor X want the same thing. They're buddies. They go way back, but the way they go about, you know, the means to that end, they want the same end, but the means are so different, you know. But all in all, when it comes down to it, they're not going to hurt each other. They're not going to kill each other. They'll fight, you know. Their underlings will fight each other, hurt each other bad. But you know, if somebody goes to Magneto and says, "Hey, listen, you know, Xavier's kind of a dick. He'll punch him. Like, this is still my best friend." You know, and the other way around.
Well, okay. So to go on that, I had what I call a gut feeling when it comes to this movie, because my wife and I go get seats, and I go get, you know, the popcorn and the soda for us. I come back and boom, the movie's just started, so it's perfect. And right when the apocalypse stuff happened in Egypt, I had this gut feeling of, oh, this is going to be bad. Open and have the same feeling as the previous two movies did. This felt way too ambitious and way too. I don't know the best way to put it is that I think they did X-Men Last Stand on this. I think they added way too many characters, had a way too big of a story, because one of the other reasons why I didn't like this flick is because it's the same thing over and over again in these superhero movies. It is a big bad who's going to destroy the Earth. Oh, okay, well, these heroes are going to make sure that doesn't happen. All right, we're good.
Well, Jordan, this every comic book ever has been that way. That's the story.
I understand that. But however, though, compared to X-Men First Class and also Days of Futures Past, I didn't get that kind of feeling. Days of Future Past seemed more grounded. It seemed more.
Grounded. They went back in future. They went back in time because they were being destroyed by robots that basically they were destroyed by the Terminator. You know, so like
Sentinels. Please.
What's grounded? Yeah, what's grounded about that? Like these are Jordan. These are like the thing that I have to say about, you know. I disagree with you in the sense that, like, yeah, it is getting repetitive. You're right there. They are doing the same thing, but like that's what these movies are. That's what they've always been. Every superhero movie ever has had somebody that wants to destroy the Earth, and the other guy is like, no, you can't do that. There's good people here. There's good in you. There's good in this. There's good in that, and they fight it out, and the good guy wins eventually, whether it takes 2 movies or 3.
I beg to, you know what? Like a lot of these stories, and pretty much actually all of them, they're pulling straight from the comic books. Like the
Oh,
war,
absolutely.
the extermination of mutants, that happens. Like there's a war with
Mm-hmm.
that, and I mean that's in its own thing because like Wolverine and Storm fall in love and they do their own thing and they have. Like, a lot of shit happens, and
Yeah.
and then there's the part where Jean Grey dies and she turns into Phoenix too, and I mean that's another thing too that happened in this movie. That was one thing that either way I'll get into that a little bit later. But like, Apocalypse is a real character. There's a lot of other stuff that happens. Wait till you see who Onslaught is. Fuck, like I mean,
Okay.
there's so much more that can happen. There's so much more that can happen. So they're kind of sticking to it, and I understand that too. But same with I could say with the Avengers too, where it's just like. With Age of Ultron was the last one I saw where Ultron just picks up an entire city, you know, and then it's going to crash it down into Earth. But it's just like, yeah, like it's pretty much why is it all centralized into Earth? And that's why I think I like Guardians of the Galaxy so much is because it's something out of the world that there's a universal threat. But
Yes.
I get what you're meaning a little bit more. X-Men does kind of go a bit further later on into the arc where it expands a bit more rather than it just being kind of one area and when just like one bad guy was just like, oh, I've been asleep for 10,000 years. I'm up now and I'm gonna just destroy the fucking
Yeah.
world. And yeah, that seems
Yeah.
a little meh. I understand that completely, but I mean, the story there's so much more that can happen with it because it splits. This is where in the comic world where stories start to just split into or fork rather, and I even say
Mm.
split. I would say fork because
Okay.
you have one storyline that goes this way, one storyline that goes this way, another one that goes this way, and characters have their own little business that happens too over different timelines too. Like the whole Deadpool Cable thing, like they travel through time. You know, like that's another fucking thing too. You know, because
Okay.
that's one of Cable's power. And Cable is the son of Cyclops and some other bitch.
Jean Grey. N-
It's not Jean
no.
Grey. It's
Are you
well whatever.
sure?
I'll have to look it up. But yeah, if my knowledge serves me right, I'm pretty sure that it's Scott and something else because Jean Grey had died at that point and became Phoenix, and at that point became level 5 God. Which by the way, in this movie I did like how what's her name was just like, how'd you get into the CIA? And Xavier's like, oh, I got level 5 clearance.
Yeah.
I clapped. I was the only person that did that. 'Cause I was like, yes. And it was like, well, why is this? Because he's a level 5 mutant.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a lot of hidden comic book nerd gems in these series. Like we'll get to I'm sure we'll talk about more in depth, but the after credit scene, Jordan and I were sort of talking about it earlier. Eric, did you stay for the after credit scene?
Oh no, I left, and
Okay.
I fucking need to learn my lesson with Marvel movies.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. So what it is basically is now, and I got it because I was the only one in the room that understands all this stuff. Apparently, because I had heard a couple of people like, "Well, that was fucking stupid." What it is basically is the scene where they're in Stryker's hideout. Okay, and so that's the location. And it's kind of comical because they've got the guy like vacuuming up bullets and they're mopping up the blood and everything, getting ready just to start all over again. So these suits come walking in. You see their faces and everything. They come and take. They just come in where Wolverine was, and they. I'm drawing a blank now. We just talked about it. They grab the DNA from Wolverine, and they put it in this little briefcase. Well, then all of a sudden they close the briefcase. I'm trying to pull it up. I can't remember. Oh my God! What the hell is Mr. Sinister's name? Nathaniel what? Exeter. Oh, so it says Exeter Corp.
Okay.
So that's really cool because like they're tying it in with Deadpool.
Yeah,
And
Mrs. Sinister is the one that creates Cable, by the way, too. Okay, so it was Madeline Pryor. It was her
Okay.
name. Madeline Pryor in Scott Summers or Cyclops.
Yeah.
Cable.
Okay, yeah. So that's like that. That's one of the hidden gems in this. I think there's a lot of like little things like level 5 mutant. Oh my God! I just said his name. I'm drawing a blank. I've had too many beers. It's too
Mr.
hot
Sinister?
in here. Mr. Sinister. But what the hell's his real name? Nathaniel. Fuck, I can't remember.
No, it's With the Essex.
Yes, Essex. Yes. So like there's like nobody got it because they didn't quite because now I'm drawing a blank on it obviously and I forgot about it, but it was just I just thought it was cool and they tied it in with Deadpool because Deadpool's in the same universe.
Yeah, but then again, so is like Captain America and the Avengers. Like they're technically in the same universe too. Well, eventually they all come together.
Yeah, which I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see it.
That's really,
No,
really far down because this is the big thing that I've always wanted to see in Marvel movies. I've said was World War Hulk, and because that involves a lot of everybody. Fucking, that's just brings in the whole thing where everyone's just like, that's your enemy right there. I don't know if you like that, Jordan. Instead of it being like a baddie like Apocalypse or Thanos or something like that, and now it's everyone versus the Hulk. I mean, is that something that you'd like to see?
that'd be cool.
Because
That would be really badass.
the Hulk essentially becomes a god, and
Oh.
like it's so fucked up, man. He's so powerful that like gold beams shoot out of his eyes and mouth, and he's fucking just like destroys the earth that he stands on. It's amazing.
I don't remember that. When was that? That's got to be relatively new.
It's a newer series, but again,
Okay.
like they had he wipes out everybody. He wipes out Doctor Strange, which is in the movie coming up. He wipes out Iron Man. He wipes out who the hell is the Marvel version of Superman? I forgot his name.
Mr. Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where his power is like limitless type thing, and he's so fucking powerful that he just pretty much lives in his apartment, doesn't do anything. And
Yeah, that's Captain Marvel.
And they're just like, why not? He's like, because I'm too fucking powerful. I don't know how to. Once I keep on going, I don't know how to shut it off.
So I have a fucking question real quick here. Help me out, guys. And it's kind of a two-part question. Are they forgetting that the original trilogy never existed, or is this first-class trilogy leading up to the first X-Men movie?
No, they're prequels, and you've seen in Days of Futures Past, it's the timeline. All the characters are the same. Everybody comes back for those to play those characters in what would normally be somewhat of the future,
including Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah, yeah. So
was that actually him?
Yes,
it was.
Yeah.
Was that him?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So these are prequels leading up to the first movie, but it's also a different timeline, so they can sort of go wherever they want to with it, kind of. But they're prequels. They're in the same. They're not forgetting it.
Yeah,
now,
characters
the last
are
question
still there.
I have for,
wait, just real quick. Jean Grey, when they walked out of Return of the Jedi, did you hear how she said that?
Yes.
The third movie usually sucks.
Yeah.
Yes, that was wonderful.
By the way, I just want to add, it's amazing seeing her in something else other than Game of Thrones, and she's not a terrible actress. Like Game of Thrones, that is what it is, but like she does pretty well in this. I think she did a good job. But my favorite was seeing Olivia Munn in that onesie. I love Olivia Munn. I remember watching her. What the hell was that video game TV show?
Attack of the Show.
Attack of the Show. Oh my God! I remember watching Attack of the Show and just thinking she was like the perfect woman. And she's still the same. She's just as cool, but now she's acting, and she's really good too. There was some decent acting in this movie too. I think.
Really?
Yeah,
right.
I thought it was well acted in.
Well, you have like Oscar-nominated actors. You have Michael Fassbender. I mean, you have James McAvoy. Halle Berry wasn't in this one, but she's also the Catwoman. So I guess.
Well, yeah. Every good actor has a couple
Hugh
of bad
Jackman. Like these are.
He's in it for 10 seconds.
But I mean, yeah, he still kills it. So that was still an amazing part where they're just like, Weapon X has escaped, and he just leaves that fucking just trail of just death and.
Oh yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah,
which I guess we can talk about, guys.
Jennifer Lawrence, who's won 2 awards.
She's
amazing.
She's another complaint I have. But
oh my God.
But before talking about Jennifer Lawrence, I want to talk about one of my biggest gripes. We'll see what you guys think of this. I'm not going to pretend here that I know anything about the X-Men. I don't. My knowledge of X-Men is the 1990s cartoon and the movies, and that's as far as it goes.
Sure.
I never even read a comic. So I'm not going to pretend that I know shit. So I'm probably going to get schooled. So, judging Magneto / Eric in the past 2 movies, this is not his character. So you're going to sit here filmmakers and tell
Malcolm
me
X. Malcolm
that
X.
sure
Go ahead.
that Magneto has after he literally drops a baseball stadium over the White House in the sequel, that he's now become a normal guy living in Poland with a 10-year-old daughter working at a steel mill factory, and he says the line to his wife, "When I first met you, I told you everything about me and what I'm capable of. I need you to trust me now." This whole Magneto subplot is terrible. This is not his
Oh.
character.
Now, Eric, you can correct me because I'm not as knowledgeable about X-Men as you are. I don't think. I'm more other Marvel characters, but I mean, knowing what little I do know, this is the storyline. This is who Magneto is. Like he's not a bad guy. He just has a different idea about how to go about being a mutant and how the mutant should act. He thinks they're better than everybody. Professor Xavier thinks that they can help them. He thinks that Magneto thinks that he can rule them. So he needed a catalyst to go be the bad guy again, because he's still going to be the bad guy. It is what it is. It will always be the Professor Xavier versus Magneto. It always will be. But correct me if I'm wrong. That is the catalyst. Like it hit the murder of his family. Was a catalyst. Now I don't remember if it was just his older family or he had a wife and kids. I don't remember from the comics.
He's got a few kids, actually.
Okay.
They're floating
Okay.
around.
Yeah, he got around, huh?
Yeah, well, he got around. I think he's actually got twins somewhere around in the universe too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does actually. I hope somebody would correct me on him. It's been a
But my
while
problem-
in my comic book.
Well, I guess they do sort of hint to that because Quicksilver's his kid.
Yeah, again,
I
he's
don't-
got a few. I think he's got like 5 or something like that. I don't know.
You'd have
Okay,
thought his
so-
mom would have noticed that when they came in the first movie, though.
Well, here's the thing. Okay. So here's what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying that this is bad. I think this is the best part of the movie when Magneto's family is murdered, and his acting ability is just gorgeous. I'm not denying that.
Michael Fassbender.
What I'm saying though is, in this movie universe right now, okay, the past 2 movies, him settling down to have a family for 10 years and to meet a random woman and tell her everything about him just doesn't seem like this character in this movie. It doesn't seem like in the 3rd movie this is where he would be after what he did in the sequel. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
It seems like he would be out trying to destroy the humans or doing something else, not having a family.
Pause on that real quick. I did just remember in Avengers, the 2 Quicksilver. It was the
Scarlet
other
Witch
girl.
and Quicksilver.
Yeah.
those
They're in the Avengers. Those
you're
are
right,
those are Magneto's kids.
Those are his twins. Yeah.
But going back to your point, Jordan, that's what that makes perfect sense to me anyway. Is we get introduced to Magneto 3 different times, and after each time we're introduced to him, it's been a period of him not being the evil person that he is. He's
true.
in Days of Future. I don't remember what it is in the first one, but I remember like it's just we've been buddies forever. And then it was and then in Days of Futures Past, he's accused of killing JFK, and he's in the cell in the bottom of the Pentagon. And now he's got a family. Now I see what you're saying. It just seems out of character, if for a film, but and it's kind of repetitive, but at the same time, this to me is sort of the catalyst that makes him become Magneto and forget about being Eric.
No. That's the thing, is that I understand what they're doing. I just don't like where they were going with it, because, like I said, maybe it's because I watched Days of Futures Past the night before I watched this movie, and it's like, this is a guy who literally wanted to kill every human. He wanted to kill the president. He dropped a stadium on him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, the next time I see him, he's now has a 10-year-old daughter, and he's working in a steel mill? Really? Okay, that doesn't seem like that kind of a character.
It sounds like the perfect and the perfect anti-hero / villain, because he's surrounding himself with the things that he's never wanted, like he's said that he's been too hurt for family, too hurt to fall in love, and all that, and blah blah blah. And then it was also because he can manipulate metal. He's working in a fucking steel factory. Like,
Yeah.
that's perfect.
All right.
He's tormenting himself internally on purpose.
Okay. I mean, I don't. Okay, I see it. I don't agree with it. I think it's a bad choice. For the movie standpoint, I wasn't a fan of that. That's my 2 cents.
Well, I liked it just because it was just kind of like he needed to go into hiding. Obviously, the movie did a good job of kind of depicting that he was like the world's #1 criminal. He was public enemy #1. He was the most wanted right here, and it went to show you that in Poland, as soon as he did that, he was outed. As soon as that, he was outed. You know, and so that's what it is. So he tried to give it a try. At least that's what it was, what he said at least. But it just didn't work. So he keeps on just kind of getting. It keeps on following him, this tragedy, and it's going to keep on following him too. Because I mean, a lot of the stuff that happened with obviously Sebastian Shaw, all of the stuff that will happen with the X Factor, which is later on down the road, with the Brotherhood that he has too. I mean, just a lot of this shit. He tries a lot of different stuff, but like he's also level 5, and he's just completely badass. But it's just like he just can't really catch a break, I guess, until the later years when he sides with Xavier, and again that whole shit again, it's a completely different story when he sides with Xavier and they form Onslaught, because that is just that I'm excited to see that. If they make that into a movie, I hope they really do it well, because otherwise it's going to be really dumb. It's going to be like Super Shredder, and it's just going to be dumb. But if they do it well, then it'll play really awesome, I think.
For those of you that don't know, Jordan, you included Onslaught is the powers of Magneto with the mind of Professor X.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like a fusion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right,
which obviously we need the Phoenix, and it goes into a bunch of different things. Because Jean Grey, you think about it, like you think Professor X or Magneto would be the most powerful mutant on the planet. No, it's like this little girl, Jean Grey, is the most powerful mutant on the planet in the history of the planet.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Okay, my next issue is Jennifer Lawrence. Now, let me just say, I love her. If she was here right now, I would suck a fart out of her ass.
All right.
I think she's beautiful. I think she's a great actress. Blah, blah, blah. She acted like she did not want to be in this movie. She was barely in the Mystique/Raven paint job or uniform, if that's how you want to put it. She didn't. She gave a performance of, you know what? I'm contractually obligated to do this, but I'd rather win an Oscar instead.
She's also performing with her ex-boyfriend too.
Yeah.
Oh, is that the guy, Beast? Right? Beast,
yeah.
Is that the guy that leaked the naked photos of her that I have on my phone?
No, that was just iCloud shit.
Yeah. Okay. Eric, do you want to take this one, or do you want me to punch him?
So, like, in my opinion, I mean, I think they did a really good job in the movie of this, is that tensions are still very high, much like racial tensions were back then, too. That, like, it's like, it's not cool to be a mutant. Like, it's like people are just kind of like, meh, like, they tolerate it, but, like, they're still in hiding. There's still a lot of people who are ashamed to be a mutant, and so she is that same person where she's just like, she doesn't want the light on her. She doesn't want to be exposed as a mutant. They all want to live just regular lives, and so her kind of not being in that part means two things. One, she's not going to be the hero that everyone looks up to, so that responsibility is off of her shit. And then two, she's regular. She's normal. She's treated as normally such. She's not a mutant as well, too. And so her, like all the other mutants, are trying to stay under. Much like Magneto, they're trying to stay under. They don't want to be exposed as mutants. They just want to live regular lives, man. And so that's the reason why she's not in the blue, in the Stamos outfit. Rebecca Romijn Stamos outfit.
Nice.
Which, by the way, I fucking loved it in Days of Futures Past when Rebecca Romijn, when they or what? No, was it? Was it Days of Futures Past or First Class? Whichever one. where her and Magneto hook up. And he's like, she's laying in bed, and she goes in her normal sentence, and he's like, no. She's like, looks like Jennifer Lawrence, and he's like, no, I always told you were more beautiful. And she goes and looks like Rebecca Romaine, and he's like, no, you don't look like that yet.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
So-
good points, but you guys don't see that though. I mean, like, you guys don't see that. That she was in this to because she had to and just get a
No,
paycheck?
like
You don't see
No,
that?
I
she's
get it, but
she's
that's
dedicated
maybe...
her life to hiding mutants, helping them escape. Another racial parallel to the Underground Railroad. She's helping them escape.
All
Like
right.
you know what I mean? Like she's helping give them new identities. She pays their way.
I get
just
what you
losing.
mean. It definitely wasn't an American Hustle type acting, but
Right.
like, what research do you have to play a mutant or Mystique? Like it's not much you have to go off. So I can understand that. I mean, as far as it may be a director error as far as giving her the proper motivation, or again maybe that she was just didn't want to work
Yeah. All right.
with Nicole anymore, or maybe because she had to spend like 4 or 5 hours every day in that makeup, or
Maybe I don't know
That'd be terrible.
maybe
Because-
probably longer than that.
because what
And she's naked in front of everybody, which
Yeah.
what I see of her as not in the movie aspect, but what I see of as Jennifer Lawrence herself, I am not a fan of the Hunger Games movies, not at all. I just like the second one and that's it.
Oh,
But I watched the last one, part 2, and she looked like she was phoning it in too. Like it felt like she was like, okay, I'm done with this. I want to move on. And I don't think she's going to be in the fourth one, X-Men, if there's going to be a fourth X-Men. She just gives this attitude to me. This is twice I've seen it, my opinion of it, because I have to, but I don't want to be. I want to go make Joy. I want to go make, something else. Like, she just doesn't, it seems like she doesn't care, and that takes me out of the movie, because in Days of Futures Past, she was amazing. And in this one, it was just like,
But she's also a villain. Like in the original, this is where they kind of where Ed had said before is that because they went back in time and kind of split, they Star Trekked it and they kind of are able to kind of redo it into the movie universe. But originally, like she's an assassin for the Brotherhood of Evil for Magneto. Like she's a villain.
oh, okay. Well, I was not aware of. Well, yes, I was, because she was in the first one, wasn't she?
Yeah, and the
She was in this. Yeah.
and
in the Brett
hinted
Ratner
that.
trilogy, she was a villain.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
they hint at it too in Days of Futures Past, like she's going to kill Peter Dinklage.
Yeah.
And they go to stop her because it starts the Sentinels and all that stuff.
Can I just say, I apologize to anybody. I apologize to you guys. But my wife and I were talking about Peter Dinklage on the way to the theater today. And I was like, Gina, you know what I don't like about the second one? She goes, what's that? Peter Dinklage. Why is that? You can't put a midget as the main bad guy with no superpowers. Just kick him. I mean, Jesus. It was just, this guy's trying so hard to be Tony Stark, and it's like, really, just.
Well,
just
hey,
kick him.
a Lannister never forgets. Okay.
True that.
I'm
Well, no,
just
but he
saying.
always pays his debts. And then...
Yeah, Lannister always pays his debts.
All right. Well, my next complaint is Apocalypse. This guy is terrible.
Oscar
Look-
Isaac?
No, God, no. The actor is amazing. They fucked up by putting him under 60 pounds of latex, and I couldn't actually see him act. And just his plot, his backstory, his motivations, the way he delivered his lines. Apocalypse as a villain for me was just god awful. This guy was bland. This guy was vanilla as shit. He was terrible.
First of all, anytime you say anything negative about Poe Dameron, I'm going to punch you because he's like my favorite. So
Okay, well that's fine. You're gay.
But you
That's
got
okay.
you got to think about what Apocalypse saw himself as.
A god, I get
He's
it.
a god. He's infallible. He cannot be killed. And he's in the same school of thought as Magneto, as we as mutants are better. So he's delivering his lines from a perspective of being a god.
But he's vanilla.
And-
he's fuck.
That's that he. That's because he doesn't have to have one-liners. He doesn't have to be witty because he can take any item and turn it into whatever molecule he wants. He can
Oh.
heal. He can read minds. He can do all that stuff. He can do because they basically say that he's the first mutant, which he's been able to continuously put him take other mutants' abilities and put them into himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, though, it's just I don't know, guys. It's just the way he, as the actor, was portraying him was just it was non-threatening to me. I was not scared that any of the X-Men were going to die. I was not scared or threatened that the world was going to end. I knew they were going to save the day because this guy was just so blah. He was not threatening to me at all.
I see your point. I disagree with it, but I can see where you're coming from.
He's just non-threatening.
No, I get it. Same with like the Ultron thing, where like these villains like all they do is a really good job of just fucking shit up and just making
Yeah.
like a lot of collateral damage. They don't really do anything to the group itself, as far as it's concerned, which is a disappointment because Apocalypse does fuck up a lot of stuff. At least that's so I agree with you in that part. But I mean, really kind of showing his powers a bit more, it would have been pretty cool too because he did a pretty good job actually with that. He is basically everything, kind of he has actually
Yeah.
pull up his abilities here. He's got genius level intellect, telekinesis, telepathy, technopathy, sure, where he
That's
can,
the thing. Okay.
teleportation, immortality, invulnerability, regenerative healing, reality warping, super strength, speed and reflexes, and matter, energy, and
Jesus.
mass manipulation. And so he's pretty
Wow.
much everything too. But
So
yeah,
pretty much he's an evil Superman. That's what he is. He's an
Well,
evil Superman.
he's like Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. He assumes your powers.
yeah,
Okay.
Or like I guess it would be more like the quickening from Highlander. Like he just takes you on, like he takes on your soul after he
There
kills
could be
you.
only one.
Yeah, I love
Okay,
Highlander.
so
I love Highlander. By the way, it's like
Alright.
it's like my favorite B series of all time. Highlander.
so you guys are going to hopefully agree with me. The best praise I can give this movie is they upped it from the sequel, but the Quicksilver sequence when the school was blowing up.
Quicksilver is a pretty cool addition to the universe.
That
Mm-hmm.
He's been around obviously for a little bit because obviously he's one of the children. But I like him. I think he's a pretty cool addition to the movie universe.
absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
and I also want to praise the filmmakers because the special effects work of him moving so fast and picking all the students out before the school blew up is amazing. Like that was so great.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's cool. I think you're right, exactly right. They already did it once, but they expanded on it, and that's sort of their reintroduction to him, and he gets everybody out. But the thing that you can see in his face when when Scott comes back and is in Havoc, he realizes Havoc is dead. He's like, "Well, that wasn't me. I got everybody out." And then he's like, "Oh shit, maybe I." And they go up to him and they're like, "Well, he was closest to the blast."
Yeah,
Yeah.
So so you can sort of see it on his face right then. He's like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
But
No,
yeah,
true.
it's fine.
No.
I think they did a good job because Apocalypse does have a lot of I don't know he's over the time. So like I know he and like Dracula did some shit. I know it gets pretty ridiculous after that.
Yeah, and his best friend's Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, he does a lot of the stuff with Mr. Sinister, or yeah, with
Mm.
Essex too.
Mhm.
There's a lot of weird stuff. I know that Cable's involved in it somehow too, for some reason. That's because he's more of an X Factor villain.
Yeah, and that would be my one gripe with this movie is that there's so many other things to Apocalypse that they don't touch on.
Yeah,
He's not just the character they portrayed him as. Now, maybe they were doing it for one reason or another, but like he just walks out. He gets awakened. He walks out. He finds Storm. He's like, "Listen, you're my child. You're gonna be my partner." And they find all these other people. And, he's like, "Okay, he's got his 4 horsemen and everything." But that's all him. But he's actually a much more deep character than they portray him to be.
Yeah.
which I think Jordan is probably why you don't like him, and maybe why other people might not like him as well, because he is very bland in this movie, and there's a lot more depth to him
Yeah.
in the comics than there is here.
Which I'll make it clear that I'm only judging of what I saw in the movie. But another character that I saw in this movie that's just bland too is Storm. She was terrible. I'd
Yeah,
rather have
well,
Halle Berry
Mm.
back.
I never really liked Storm as a mutant, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Really? Nobody likes
I-
Storm? I like Storm. thought she was
I
cool.
never really liked it. You know why? Is because whenever she did it, first off, she would do like incantations all the time. She'd be like, "Oh, the thunder and the storm," and it's just like she would just be yelling. She'd float up and she'd
Yeah.
be like, "And the tornadoes and she would just yell out. And then after, she would just be like, she would drain her powers, and then she would just like be,
Yeah.
she'd go, "Oh, hold
She'd
on."
be tired. She'd be tired, just hanging out, waiting for them, like drinking a bottle of wine, waiting for her powers to regenerate.
Yeah, and it's just
Yeah,
like
but-
I don't know with the whole. She'd call on the storm and just like, damn, you just fucking get an umbrella or something, you know?
My last gripe I want to add to this, by the way, is that they don't do anything with one of my all-time favorite cartoon characters, Jubilee. She's obviously in the movie. They give her the outfit. It's the cartoon outfit. It's
Yeah.
not even like the outfit from the comics. It's obviously Jubilee, and they do nothing with her.
We didn't even get to see any
What are you
fireworks.
talking
No.
about? What are you talking about?
The little Asian girl that was wearing the yellow jacket with like the
She went to the
confetti
mall with
shorts.
them.
Yeah, I went to the mall with them. That's Jubilee.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did not know that.
But
That's
they
a-
don't. But they don't tell you who it is. They you don't get to see any fireworks coming out of her fingers. You don't get to see anything. She goes to the mall with them. She hangs out for a little bit. She gets in that she gets in the car. They come back and she gets knocked out by the fart gun, and that's it.
You know what? When they were rebuilding the school, they should have had her shoot up some fireworks. Just-
Yeah.
Was that her power?
Yeah.
Yeah, she can shoot fireworks.
Well, not literally fireworks.
Yeah.
Something. I'm
No,
assuming.
literally
Literally
fireworks.
fireworks.
Oh my God, that was her power.
Yeah.
Well, no
You
wonder why
don't remember Jubilee from the cartoons?
I remember Rogue a lot.
And she was an X-Men. Fucking
Did-
Jubilee was an X-Men.
And the fact that they're making a Gambit movie and didn't introduce Gambit in this.
Well, I think he's involved with Mr. Sinister stuff, so maybe that'll.
That's
come
true. That's true. He's a bad guy. You're right. He's a bad guy.
But they're making a Gambit movie.
Yeah. Mon ami.
in. So
Mona me. What the fuck did you just say?
he's-
That's Gambit's thing. He shoots
Yeah.
cards and says Mon ami.
He's French, man. His name's Remy.
Oh, okay. Because I remember Gambit from the cartoons, and he wasn't French, so that's why.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
he
he
says
was.
Mon ami all the time in the cartoons, bro.
I didn't know that was fucking French. I'm from a goddamn 3,000 person town. Okay. I don't know that shit.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, here it
I'm
is.
sorry.
Jubilee's powers, just so you know, are ability to project pyrotechnic energy plasmoids.
So
fireworks.
fireworks.
Explosively charged objects. Okay.
Oh, that's true.
So you can charge objects, and she can evade detection of telepaths. Which would probably be her main ability there. She can evade from the telepaths.
Yeah.
Because they fucking
What-
run the world.
But she was like one of my favorites because she's like uppity and like so like happy go lucky, and it's like, oh look, the Juggernaut, here's fireworks, and then she gets beat up and it's like no big deal, and she
Yeah.
gets up, it's like, that's okay guys, thanks for thinking of me to bring me along on the mission.
Yeah, she did a good job playing the damsel.
Yeah.
Okay,
Remember
so what,
you remember the Juggernaut bitch, the cartoon they put on YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I'm gonna beat you with your own pimp. I'm the
And then-
Juggernaut bitch.
I think that's why people hated The Last Dance so much, is because the Juggernaut actually said, "I'm the Juggernaut bitch."
I thought that was epic, like, because that was the time that was happening, and like that video was out, and like that, and he says, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch," and he runs through a wall. That's awesome.
Until that part where he doesn't, and then he's defeated by a wall.
Yeah. Well, there's that. There's lots of things about that movie that just don't make sense.
Yeah.
so okay, speaking of not making sense, what did you guys think of the ending battle? Because that didn't make any sense to me at all.
Well, that's my gripe about it, is because Okay, so in order, how they defeated Apocalypse is pretty much everyone had to band together. It's not a one-man job. It's not a two-man. It's not a three-man. It's not even a four-man job. Like, everyone had to get together to defeat Apocalypse because he is a fucking badass. That's just what it is. And just keep in mind right here is that in the film is you had Magneto, Xavier, and Jean Grey. That's 3 level 5 mutants right
Mm-hmm.
there taking down, and they had a problem. Even they had to get a class 3. I think Cyclops is class 3. Um, uh, Mutant to help him out with that too. And so like and Storm, who's also I think class 3 or 4, um, tried to help him out. So that's like 5 people trying to get into that. And you have Xavier going into his mind, trying to fuck with his mind. You have Magneto just pelting him with a whole bunch of shit. You have Cyclops throwing his fucking otherworldly beams at him too. And then you have Jean Grey, who was just like, "Oh yeah, by the way, my powers just woke up. I'm gonna walk out and then throw the Phoenix in your face." And I didn't like that because Jean Grey is like she's tormented by her powers. But that's just this is a whole completely different universe. This is the film universe now, so whatever, just go along with it type thing.
Well, but keep in mind, I think they needed to be pelting him with all that shit for Jean Grey to absorb it all and to become Phoenix. Like that's what happens.
Good call.
She basically becomes, but that's the way she becomes Phoenix is by absorbing all those powers and then exploding it. Now, she does that. She does it in the comics the same way they do it in this movie, and in Last Stand, she basically like dies because she can't control it.
And that's the Jean Grey that I know is that she is so fucking powerful that she can never really control her powers. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. She's the one that can never truly get it under control because she has such power that nobody can control it. Except for, there's lots of things you can do around it, but like that's the only way, in my opinion, that they could have defeated him in this movie was by he's focused. He's using. I mean, he's obviously beating. He's using his power to defeat, to absorb all the stuff that Magneto's throwing at him, all the metal. Simultaneously, he's beating Professor X mentally. Simultaneously, he's beating Cyclops, throwing all that same power at him through his eyes. And again, what was that? That's 4 things now. The electrical storm from Storm. It takes, what it takes is somebody taking it all from him, which is one thing that Jean Grey can do as Phoenix, is to steal your powers, but she can't control it. She doesn't know how. She hates the fact that she is that way because she's killing the person.
Yeah.
While she's doing it. So that's where her torment is. That's where her hatred comes from for her power. After she obviously discovers she has it. Now she's tormented by other things early on in life that have turned her into like we see it in this movie. She's having another nightmare, and like one of the kids like it's happening again. She's doing it again, and she's basically like melting the walls around her with her power. So it's there. They show you it's there. I think that's the only way they could have done it. It's very. I mean, again, because this is the 3rd movie like this to come out, I think we're feeling like it's repetitive. The Batman versus Superman and the Avengers movies, like the Avengers was epic because it was the first one. Batman versus Superman, when it takes them all to like this is the 3rd kind of battle that way. So if you take them as they are separately, they're all equally as good. But the fact that we've seen now and done shows on all 3, it feels maybe a little bit repetitive, but I see them for what I see them, for what they are, taking those other ones out of my mind, out of consideration. I think it was brilliant. I think it's the only way they could have done it.
Huh. Well, I mean, I can argue with that. Some of the things I don't understand, but I guess I gotta just pretend that the original trilogy doesn't exist.
You're able to keep your opinion about this movie all the same because this movie, to me, it's they're going off on their own universe. They're going on the Marvel Cinema Universe. The MCU is what they're calling it now. And so basically what they're doing right now is they deliver the fan service as best they can, but they are just kind of taking what would be like a series of like 20 books or 10 books or a big series of of some sort of comic book, and they're putting it into what's this 2.5 hours? They're taking
Yeah.
Yeah,
all
two and a
that
half. Yeah.
into 2.5 hours, where originally these things would span like you'd have to wait weeks, months for the edition to come out. And so they're
Gotcha.
taking all of this and they're putting it into this little block of a movie, and they're doing an okay job, especially with something in the X-Men because I think this is a film franchise that's been going for 16 years now, and
Yes.
so people know them, and they're not doing much of an origin. And they're doing okay with the origin. They did it all right with Havoc. They did all right with Scott. They're doing okay with Beast and with Raven and Xavier and stuff like that, and that's fine. I get that. I think that all comic book movies need to have this point right now where they don't need to do origins anymore, especially when they have come to just repeat the same movies or remake the same movies over and over again. Don't
Good point.
insult the viewers. Like we understand, we know how fucking Bruce Wayne came to be. Okay, God damn
Yeah.
it, we know that. Like,
Yes.
so we don't need to see it again. We know how and we know a lot of the Marvel characters. People know this. People who are going to see the movie are people who know the characters, man. Like you don't have somebody who's like, man, I'm feeling we gotta go see a movie today. What's this one? X-Men. Never heard of this one before. Yeah, I'll buy a ticket. You don't just go
Yeah.
there randomly
Yeah.
guessing what the hell it is.
True. True. No, that's very true. Yeah. I mean, they've been around. I cannot believe that. 16 years since the first one came out.
And to
Wow.
think the only person who hasn't returned for their role was, I mean, because obviously we're these are prequels now, but was Halle Berry for Storm, and she hated
Yeah.
it. But
Uh-huh.
it's also a prequel. So like it's different. It's a little different, but like these people, you know, Hugh Jackman has returned in every single one of these movies. He's been Wolverine. Even if in First Class he was in First Class he was there for 5 seconds. Like, hey, listen, we're doing this thing. Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
And in this one, he's finally Weapon X, and he's mad, and he finally meets Jean Grey, and this is where he begins his infatuation with her, and he begins to fall in love with her. But she gives him his memories back, which is the story. So it's been around for quite a while. Most people nowadays don't know anybody else as any of these characters. They don't even
True.
remember the comics or the cartoons other than us. And a few people here and there.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, I think it's time for our recommendations. So, Eric, do you recommend X-Men Apocalypse?
It's a long movie. I can tell you that right now. It was a long movie, and as much as I had like a lot of meh meh meh, I would to be honest with you, I'd say wait for the DVD on this one. I enjoyed the
Wow.
movie. No, I enjoyed the movie like from front to back. I enjoyed it. I really did. But I think it's just one of those where if you're sitting on the couch, you might enjoy it a little bit more than go see it in the theaters. Because there's a lot going on, and I'm sure that if a lot of new characters are introduced, a lot of new characters are introduced. Angel's introduced. Um, Olivia Munn's character Psylocke is introduced. I mean, Apocalypse is introduced. There's a lot of people going. Havoc is introduced. Or well, no, he was in First Class, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
They introduced Cyclops, though, his brother.
yeah, and so there's a lot of people going in, and so I think that a lot of people, as they're doing this, would like to kind of whip out their phone and do maybe some googling while they're watching it, or they have some questions, maybe pause it, rewatch it, do something a little bit more. I think that that might be, a little more to the service. I again enjoyed the movie. If you love X-Men as much as I do, go see it in theaters. I mean, because you can't wait, because everyone's gonna be talking about it, and you're gonna be left out. But um, in my honest opinion, I think that this movie is just as good as the couch as it would be in the theater. So it all depends on how much money you want to pay. But I mean,
Okay.
that's my recommendation. I think that if you can wait for the buzz, then it's right because there's a lot of movies coming out. There's a lot of movies coming out in the summer. I forgot. I had to go back and look. There's a lot of movies coming out this summer.
We're
Yes.
going to be busy. We're going to have a lot of stuff for the fans.
Yeah, like there's a lot. I still haven't
Yeah.
seen I still haven't seen Civil War yet. So
Oh, you need to go. You need to go see it, bro.
going tomorrow.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
but you know, it's don't be heartbroken if you miss this one, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I would say at least see it. If you've seen the other two, Days of Future Past and First Class, then see this one for sure. Like, it's there's fun and there's a lot of action into it, and it's not often you get this introduction of the gods into the X-Men, into the Marvel universe, and it's slowly coming in. So this one's coming up. Thanos is coming up with the new Avengers movie. I know that Thor and all them are gods too, but that's like, like
Yeah.
that's something else.
Okay. All right, and Ed, do you recommend X-Men Apocalypse?
I'm I'm going to expand upon Eric's point a little bit because I actually agree with you. I mean, I know that I've spent this entire rant defending this movie, but I think that this movie is geared towards people like us, people who are comic book lovers, film lovers. You know, because like you had said, people are going to spend a lot of time on their phones googling this. So like, they introduce characters nobody's heard of. They have, you know, other than us. They don't expand on them. There's research needed. Like there's things that I even forgot because I'm not that knowledgeable. I'm not as knowledgeable about X-Men as you are, Eric. And I mean, my expert lies in expertise in terms of comics. Of course,
I still Googled when I got home. I still Googled a few things when I got home.
Yeah, so did I, though. You know, like, and I forgot Nathaniel Essex when we were talking. I forgot about him because I'm not that knowledgeable. But like, this movie is one of those movies that is brilliant it takes directly from the comics. And I'm afraid that that's the direction that all these movies are going to start to go, is that you have to understand the comics to understand what's going on. Because the reason they started introducing characters like Apocalypse, like Thanos, like, you know, just those two specifically even, were because it was the same in the comics. They got tired of going back to fighting Magneto. They got tired of going back, and in the Civil War, they got tired of going back and fighting aliens. You know, so like those comics are new, and I'm not as knowledgeable, so I'm gonna have to look some of this stuff up. So this movie is meant, in my opinion, and they even tell you that it's not that good in the movie. They tell you it's not that good from a film goer's perspective. So I'm looking at this as, I do recommend it, but I recommend it as part of a binge watching episode. Like if you're sitting down one day and you haven't seen the movies, if you go through them in chronological order, and I mean X-Men 1, 2, 3, then First Class, then whatever the last one was in this one. That's where this movie, I think, is going to be best served, because it feels like a filler. It really does feel like a filler, and it's not. They tried to complete the series, and they didn't. So it's a filler, and they're going to have to make another movie.
Yeah.
Okay. I myself, of course, no shock to you guys, I do not recommend this one. The reason being is because of all the points that have said throughout this episode. There's no reason to repeat it. But I was very disappointed. I was not excited about this movie. I feel that they introduced way too many characters without giving me more stuff about it. Because here's the issue that I have with it, is I don't think that they're putting the mass. Oh God, best way to say this. They're not putting the average moviegoer's interest at heart. They're putting the fanboys' interest at heart, and that's the confusing part for me, because I don't know anything about X-Men. And I found myself very lost and very confused on why certain characters would go this way or go that way. And then Apocalypse just seemed like a guy, just a blue guy that was pissed off. I didn't get any other reason other than he's just pissed off. And I wasn't fearful of the end of the world, and it just wasn't something that I was very happy about. But Eric, you brought up a very good point, that this movie could be really good on the couch. So I'm going to check it out when it gets released on Blu-ray. Maybe I'll think differently. But right now, it's not a very good recommend for me right now.
You went to go see
I
it with
was
your
not
wife?
a fan. Yeah, I did.
What did she think?
she felt the same way I did, actually. We went to a barbecue the day before with a few friends, and they seen it before us. And my one buddy said, it's not that great. And his wife said, oh, 20 out of 10, best one ever. And her and I both walked out of there going, not that great.
Yeah. No,
It just,
I think that was a good way that you put it. That it's really more of a filler, just to kind of maybe get the apocalypse part out of the way, or maybe just to kind of you know maybe add more characters into the mix.
yeah. What? Hello?
He put the microphone down to make a drink, I think.
I think he did. Wow. I'll have to edit that part out.
No, you're fine.
Did I fuck up?
Yeah,
Oh
you
no,
did.
I think he just put it down and he just picked up more sound than we thought it was. But no, either way, that's fine. We're closing out anyway.
No, yeah. So, I mean, overall, Eric and Ed, you guys both recommend the movie. I, however, do not. But that's all right because that's why we do the show, and I'm excited to see what the fans have to say about it as well. I don't know if you guys are excited, but in just 2 short weeks, we're going to be reviewing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows. I'm excited for this one, actually.
We'll see how it
So-
goes. I'm going in with low expectations, and it seems to be doing well for me so far.
That's how I go into my 2 a.m. run at the bar. Low expectations.
You know what? I'm going to go with Turtles 2 with just a popcorn and a soda and just hopefully have a good time. That's all I'm looking for. So we'll see what happens. But
We'll see. I might need to get high before it.
yeah. But other than that, for everybody here at Movie Guys Podcast, for Eric and Ed here, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Again, we hope you guys enjoy our brand new website here. Make sure to check us out on Twitter and Instagram and any other social network that you can think of. But we appreciate the downloads, guys. Thank you again. So, Eric and Ed, thank you so much for joining me on this episode.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
it.
Thank
And
you,
we'll
sir.
talk
Thank
to
you, our
everybody
troops, for
next.
all you do for us. We do appreciate that.
We do, actually. And we will talk to everybody next with our next episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Out of the Shadows. Have a good night, guys.
See ya.